What kind of life would you live if you had no worries at all? If you were able to throw off the heavy burdens of the future, self-improvement, or even what others think about you, what sort of person do you think you'd become? Well, I just put out a song called How to Let Go. And if you didn't notice, the song isn't necessarily instructional. I don't know how to let go. I think that's why I wrote the song. Anyways, if you had asked me a couple of years ago if I cared what others think about me, I would have told you pretty ignorantly no. That's, of course, wasn't true at the time, and I can tell you a story of when I figured out that it wasn't necessarily true. There's a road out here in Southern California, where I live, the 94 freeway, and I've had some fun experiences on it. This was the most fun. It wasn't fun. It was awful. I was driving down the freeway in my Volkswagen Jetta, and I had just finished a difficult conversation with my girlfriend. My faith community that I was a part of, I'd had another difficult conversation in the day, lots of critiques on who I was as a person that day at the time. And, I touted myself as a person that didn't care what other people think. But as soon as my girlfriend hung up the phone in a little bit of anger, maybe rightfully so, I had a bit of a panic moment on the freeway. I had to, at first I couldn't pull over, actually. I was driving and I kind of just slowed down my car. I was in the fast lane, which is kind of dangerous. You're not supposed to go slow in the fast lane, but I almost came to a full stop. Somehow, I was able to pull over to the side of the freeway and just had a full sort of panic moment. I didn't know what exactly was happening in my body at the time. But later, with some talk with some friends and a therapist and a priest, whatever, I figured out that I might have been having a panic attack. When I looked at the root of what that was, I found out I was putting so much pressure on myself to be the sort of person that would be liked by everyone, that would be loved and adored and admired. And so much of what I do comes from that. I mean, even the music and the, hanging out with people, whatever I was doing, I wanted people to like me. And that's not unique to me. Everyone wants somebody to like them. And so, in that process of finding that out, of having a panic attack and knowing then that I'd had them most of my life, and after that point I've had some more, I knew the root of it, and I wanted to figure out how to let go. It was the reason that I wrote this song. It was sort of a question to God. How do I do this? How do I let go of all my worries and wanting to control what happens in the future? And over the process of a couple of years, I figured out a couple of ways that not how I could control my world, but instead how I could allow myself to let go of the need to control. So obviously I haven't figured it out. I don't know if I know anyone that has fully figured it out. I do know a couple of older people that seem more at ease than I do. Anyways, I'm trying or attempting to do 3 things in my life that allow me to live into how to let go, or what that song is trying to embody. And it started a couple years ago when I started practicing what is called in my faith tradition the practice of silence. And my rabbi, my God, Jesus, he practiced silence. Oftentimes, Jesus would go to places alone in the desert and just be quiet. Now we'd call it mindfulness or meditation or whatever. I like silence because it reminds me that the main goal of the whole thing is to be quiet. And the reason I practice silence is for these 3 reasons. 1, to actually be accepted. To be accepted. I'm a mess, and when I'm silent, I don't get to get distracted from who I am as a person. Like, I have to actually face myself and face the demons, or face whatever is within me, and allow God, an entity outside of myself, to look at me and just accept me and love me. It's a hard thing to do, actually, because I want to judge myself. I don't have an unlimited supply of love, but I think that God does. The other thing would be probably confessing, meaning just being honest about who I am. We tell ourselves a lot of stories about who we are, who we think we should be, and then there's reality. And once we accept ourselves and know that we are accepted and loved, it's a little easier to be honest with the world around us, and say something as simple as, I care deeply what others think about me. I don't want that to be the case, but I do care deeply about what people think about me, and I'm working towards, with these practices like silence, to be better about that, and to be, by the time I'm 80, a more relaxed person. The last thing that I'm attempting to do is to actually abandon the self. To abandon the self. Not to not love the self or whatever. More so to think less about myself. I think when I ruminate on myself and my future and what others think about me, and it caused me to get into a space where I don't know, I just don't feel good mentally. My mental health is affected. And so when I sit in silence and I practice, I usually attempt to send my thoughts and my prayers, often my actual silent prayers, towards other people, toward thinking about my friends and my son who's walking off into the distance now, or to my wife, to my daughter. I try to abandon the self in that way, and then also to look to God. It's interesting, looking to God, because then you imagine that as you're looking at God, you see God looking back at you in love, and you receive that affection. It's all little ways that we, myself, try to let go of the need to be accepted, or to create some version of ourselves that maybe is a little disconnected from reality. And so this song was my attempt to do that, and whenever I do it, I think about the song and how it could help others let go. I think that's it. Is that it, Mo? Yeah, just a little nod. Cool. Hey, look, you made it to the end of this video. Thanks for watching the whole thing. What are some ways that you try to let go, or accept yourself, or connect with God? Down in the comments, do a little type, or with your fingers, or whatever you're gonna do. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and a lot more videos of music and singing. That's kind of the main thing. I try not to talk too much, but I'm gonna talk too much. Thanks for watching the video. Peace to you. My son is trying to break into the shed behind us. I should probably take care of that. Goodbye.